This is the man I always wished had been my dad. My name's Nathan Carter. I'm 62 years old, and I just watched my daughter toast her stepfather at my grandson's naming ceremony. The words hit me like a sledgehammer to the chest, but I didn't flinch. 30 years of raising Emma alone, and this is what I get. His party was at an upscale venue in downtown Fort Collins. Emma had insisted on the best for little Liam's naming ceremony. I'd written the check without question. As always, the room was filled with her husband, Ethan's business associates from Peak Pulse Publishing, their wives draped in jewelry I couldn't name. My side of the family was just my sister Clara and her husband. I sat at the family table, watching Emma charm her new in-laws. She glowed, as new mothers do, with flawless makeup and radiant skin. Ethan stood beside her, hand on her shoulder, playing the devoted husband. And there was Victor, her stepfather, beaming like he'd hit the jackpot. Victor married Emma's mother when Emma was 16. Perfect timing for him. He swooped in after the hard years were done. I'd spent the first 15 teaching her to ride a bike, helping with homework, staying up nights when she had the flu. Victor got to be the fun guy, taking her shopping, paying for college, skipping the messy parts of parenting. But I kept quiet, always did. The toast wasn't supposed to hurt like this. I'd braced for a generic speech about family and new beginnings. Instead, Emma looked straight at Victor and said, "He'll be the only grandfather my child ever knows. Not one of the grandfathers, the only one." I excused myself for air, but no one noticed. They were too busy fawning over Victor, the new family patriarch. On the venue's balcony, staring at the Fort Collins skyline, something cold settled in my chest. Not anger, clarity. 30 years ago, when Emma's mother left us, I could have remarried, found someone to help raise her. Instead, I poured everything into being her father. Double shifts at the construction company, every penny saved for her education, countless opportunities missed because Emma came first. And now she was erasing me from her son's life like I'd never existed. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to my lawyer's number. Some decisions come in the heat of the moment. Others come when everything becomes crystal clear. 24 years ago, I was a single father, pouring concrete for Horizon Construction, learning to braid my 8-year-old daughter's hair before school. Emma's mother had left for a sales manager in Tucson. Suddenly, I was everything: dad, mum, cook, homework helper, bedtime story reader. I remember Emma asking why her mum didn't love us anymore, coloring at our kitchen table, her serious brown eyes locked on mine. I told her grown-ups make mistakes, but nothing was wrong with us. I loved her enough for both parents, and I meant it. For 15 years, it was us against the world. I taught her to drive in my old pickup in a grocery store lot, relearned algebra to help with homework, sat through every school play, parent-teacher conference, and teenage crisis over boys and life's unfairness. When she graduated high school, she hugged me so tight I thought my ribs would crack. "I don't know what I'd have done without you, Dad," she whispered. "You're my hero." 30 years ago, when Emma's mother left us, I could have remarried, found someone to help raise her. Instead, I poured everything into being her father. Double shifts at the construction company, every penny saved for her education, countless opportunities missed because Emma came first. And now she was erasing me from her son's life like I'd never existed. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to my lawyer's number. Some decisions come in the heat of the moment. Others come when everything becomes crystal clear. 24 years ago, I was a single father, pouring concrete for Horizon Construction, learning to braid my 8-year-old daughter's hair before school. Emma's mother had left for a sales manager in Tucson. Suddenly, I was everything: dad, mum, cook, homework helper, bedtime story reader. I remember Emma asking why her mum didn't love us anymore, coloring at our kitchen table, her serious brown eyes locked on mine. I told her grown-ups make mistakes, but nothing was wrong with us. I loved her enough for both parents, and I meant it. For 15 years, it was us against the world. I taught her to drive in my old pickup in a grocery store lot, relearned algebra to help with homework, sat through every school play, parent-teacher conference, and teenage crisis over boys and life's unfairness. When she graduated high school, she hugged me so tight I thought my ribs would crack. "I don't know what I'd have done without you, Dad," she whispered. "You're my hero." That was 3 months before her mother reinterred the picture. Rachel had remarried by then. Victor, a regional manager for an insurance firm, drove a Lexus and lived in a house with a 3-car garage. Suddenly, Emma was spending weekends in their guest room, styled like a magazine spread. Victor bought her college clothes, a laptop, talked about investing in her future. I should have seen the shift. Emma started comparing my 2-bedroom apartment to Victor's house, mentioning Victor's opinions on her college, career, and boyfriends. When she got engaged to Ethan, Victor walked her down the aisle. She asked me to do a reading instead. "It's more meaningful," she said. "Anyone can walk someone down an aisle, but you taught me about love and commitment." I was touched then. Now, I wonder if it was the first step in sidelining me. The trust fund was my idea to $1 million setup when Emma turned 21, with provisions for her future kids. My lawyers suggested conditions: maintaining family ties, respecting the benefactor, regular contact. I thought it was overkill. Emma was my daughter, why would I need legal protections? But lawyers know human nature better than most. After the naming ceremony, my apartment felt smaller, like the walls had closed in. I sat in my recliner, staring at a photo of Emma in her cap and gown, arm around my shoulders. The trust fund documents were in my filing cabinet, untouched for 12 years. I spread them on the kitchen table, reading every clause, every condition, every provision my lawyer had insisted on, including one about the beneficiary publicly disavowing or disrespecting the grantor, the respect clause, he'd called it. I'd laughed, saying Emma would never do that. He'd just nodded. Better safe than sorry. This wasn't about the money, though $2 million isn't nothing. It was about consequences, about teaching Emma that actions have weight, words matter, and you can't erase people to fit a new narrative. I thought of Liam, 3 months old, already being taught Victor was his only grandfather. What would Emma tell him about me? Would I be the weird old man sending birthday cards, the stranger at family events? My phone buzzed a text from Emma. "Thanks for coming today, Dad. It meant a lot. Too little, too late." I called my lawyer, Patricia Walsh, Monday morning. She'd handled my legal affairs for 20 years, trust, will, my failed construction business. Sharp, no nonsense. She didn't waste time. "Nathan," she said when I explained, "are you sure? Once we triggered that clause, there's no going back, I'm sure. Redirect the trust to my goddaughter's child, Olivia. She deserves it more." Olivia was my best friend, Miguel's daughter. When Miguel died in a car accident 6 years ago, I helped his wife, Maria, raise Olivia, drove her to soccer, helped with homework, taught her to change a tire. She called me Uncle Nathan and meant it. When her daughter, Sophia, was born 2 years ago, Olivia asked me to be godfather. At least someone valued me. "All right," Patricia said. "Papers by Thursday." I felt lighter. 2 weeks later, Patricia served Emma the papers at her Durango home. I didn't want to be there. Some things are better left to professionals. Emma called 20 minutes later, voice high and tight. "Dad, what the hell?" Patricia Walsh handed me legal documents about the trust fund. "What's going on?" "Read them carefully," I said, sitting in my truck outside a hardware store, watching people load lumber. "It's all clear. This says I violated a respect clause." "That's insane. Dad, I respect you, you know that." "Do I? You said Victor would be Liam's only grandfather in front of everyone. Sound respectful to you?" Silence. "Dad, I was emotional. It was a big day. I wasn't thinking. You were thinking fine. You wanted everyone to know where I stand. Now you know where you stand with me." She cried sobs that might have broken me months ago. Now they felt like manipulation. "Please don't do this. I'll apologize publicly. Tell everyone you're Liam's grandfather too." Too late. Ethan's business depends on investor confidence, right? Family drama could hurt his partnerships. That hit a nerve. Trevor's company just launched a new imprint. They need stability. Maybe you should have thought of that before erasing me from Liam's life. "This is why Mum left you," she snapped. "You're so dramatic." The words stung, sharp and ugly. "Is that what you think? Your mother left because she was selfish, not because of me. If you want to follow her, that's your choice. Dad, I'm sorry. Can we meet and talk face to face?" "Nothing to talk about. The trust is going to Olivia and Sophia. They value family loyalty. Look it up." I hung up, ignoring her calls and texts. I drove to Home Depot, bought lumber for a bookshelf. Working with my hands clears my head. That evening, Olivia called. "Uncle Nathan, a lawyer said you're setting up a trust for Sophia to $1 million, for her education and future. Better invested in someone who wants me in their life." I told her about the ceremony, the toast, the papers. Olivia listened, sympathetic. That must have hurt. It did, but hurt passes. Stupidity lasts forever. Are you sure? It's a lot of money, and she's your daughter. Being a father doesn't mean accepting being treated like garbage. Your dad taught me that. Olivia was quiet. He always said you were the most stubborn man he knew. Miguel was a smart man. 3 days later, Maria called, furious. Nathan, you need to see something. Olivia showed me social media messages. What kind? Your daughter's painting you as an unstable old man, saying Olivia and I are gold diggers who manipulated you into changing the trust. She's claiming you have early dementia, building a case to challenge your competency. Sophia had posted in a private new mother's Facebook group. Olivia, in the same group, screenshot her words, clearly not thinking rationally, showing signs of cognitive decline, being taken advantage of. Comments suggested elder abuse hotlines and legal resources. I handed Olivia's phone back. Make copies. Send them to Patricia. Patricia was grim. This is actionable. Attempting to declare you incompetent while violating the trust. We can file a defamation suit, accelerate the trust transfer, and add conditions to block her challenges. Do it. Are you doing this because you're hurt, or because it's right? Both, but mostly because Emma needs to learn actions have consequences. I spent 30 years shielding her from the real world. Time she faced it. That evening, Olivia brought Sophia over for dinner. At 2, Sophia was full of questions, helping me make grilled cheese on a step stool. Uncle Nathan, she said, Mama says you're my fairy godfather. Something like that. Will you teach me to drive when I'm bigger? Absolutely. The trust fund change hit Fort Collins social circles hard. Patricia announced it in the business section of the Colorado One, detailing the respect clause violation and reallocation to more deserving beneficiaries. Rachel called, voice sharp from 24 years ago. Nathan, what are you doing? Victor's beside himself. Emma's been crying for days. My only child spent the last week claiming I have dementia and accusing Olivia of elder abuse. That daughterly behavior to you. She's upset. She made a mistake at the ceremony. People show their true colors when emotional. There's a difference. This is about me, isn't it? You're punishing Emma because I left. This is about Emma's choices. She was 16 when you remarried. Victor's been more of a father to her than the man who raised her alone for 15 years. That's not fair. Fair would have been you being a mother. Fair would have been Victor acknowledging Emma had a father. Fair would have been Emma remembering who sacrificed everything before erasing me from Liam's life. She's talking about legal action, challenging your mental state. Let her try. I've got documentation, including her social media campaign. Ethan called Thursday. Mr. Carter, there's a misunderstanding. Emma didn't mean to exclude you. It was poor phrasing. Not as devastated as she's going to be. Your company's problems aren't my concern. What would it take? An apology? Public acknowledgement? Nothing. It's done. The defamation suit hit 3 weeks later, with screenshots, witness statements, and medical proof of my competency. The Coloradoan ran the story. Local businessman sues daughter for defamation over trust fund dispute. Ethan's business partners at Peak Pools Publishing questioned family stability. 3 investors pulled out, and the board removed Ethan as executive editor. The company's stock dropped 30% in 2 days. Victor left a voicemail about forgiveness and Christian values. I deleted it. Emma showed up Tuesday evening, looking wrecked, dark circles, messy ponytail, old hoodie. Dad, I was wrong. The toast, the posts, everything. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix it. What do you want? I'll apologize publicly, say you're a good father, grandfather. I don't need anything from you. The trust is Sophia's now, can't be changed. I don't care about the money. Yes, you do, but even if you didn't, you made your choice. I closed the door. 6 months later, I was teaching Sophia to fish at Horsetooth Reservoir. 3 years old, she held a kid-sized rod, asking why fish live underwater and if they get cold. Olivia sat nearby, reading, smiling at her daughter's chatter. This was family, simple, honest, built on love, not obligation. Emma and Ethan moved to Tucson for a fresh start. Victor supported them financially. The defamation suit settled out of court. I donated the sum to a scholarship for single fathers. Olivia's husband, Javier, joined us for lunch by the reservoir. A firefighter, he treated Olivia and Sophia like gold. We talked work, weather, Sophia's birthday. Uncle Nathan. Sophia said, "Will you come to my birthday? Wouldn't miss it, sweetheart." She hugged my leg, and I felt peace. Emma taught me blood doesn't make family. Sophia taught me family doesn't need blood. Sometimes, those who choose you are worth more than those who are supposed to. Emma and Ethan's consequences were lasting. Ethan took a junior role at a small Tucson press, his old allies avoiding him. Emma, ostracized from Fort Collins' social scene, saw her reputation tarnished by the scandal she created. Victor's money kept them afloat, but their lifestyle crumbled. They learned actions ripple far beyond the moment. In the end, the strongest foundation isn't blood or obligation, but mutual respect and love.